Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 18th September. So as someone else mentioned, it's FOMC day today. So wishing you a happy FOMC day, which generally means there won't be a great deal of action in the morning session as we wait for the US data to come out later. Right, so let's have a look at where these markets are anyway. Yesterday the euro came off a tad. It's not a significant changing point here. As I said yesterday, it's broken through that channel. I was looking potentially for longs, and I could still be looking for longs, but it won't be today, not for this morning. We've got the FOMC meeting at 7 o'clock this evening UK time, so most likely be looking at tomorrow for the full direction of where we could be going here. Hopefully we'll get some sort of idea with a statement, etc., and the post meeting TV broadcast basically. Anyway, looking at the dollar on an hourly, it does look quite bearish as it sits here. I'm seeing a little old head and shouldery pattern kicking in here. If we was to break the lows from yesterday there, we could see it topple over a tad more. Certainly looks slightly on the softer side. However, daily wise, well, it's still in a pretty much an uptrend. It's only that short term that's sort of given us that bit of weakness. Now, if it does start coming through back southbound, I'm just looking at the 4 hourly time frame, where it has got some support in the shape of 34 below there somewhere. But yeah, looking a bit iffy, that's all, and it could end up completely changing out of this as it chops through the morning and day. The pound, I should say in summary, I'm not going to be trading till after this news is out. Okay, Alex, I'll have a look at that morning. I'll talk about that in a moment. That's next after the pound. So the pound running through here at the moment. Again, pulled back yesterday, quite a sell-off through the afternoon there. It just kept on going yesterday afternoon, but are we catching a bounce, or is it's just caught the pivot and it's reacting to its daily pivot here? A bit like the euro. I do wonder if these are rolling over. Now it has put a little higher low in the short term here, and I guess it's not as bearish looking. We've had the data out this morning, and the inflation data, the main figure was in line with expectation, so it's not really changed or come off a long way. But some of the underlying numbers are coming off a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to the pound during the day. But again, I think a lot of this could end up as chop. Dollar yen. Now the dollar yen, the yen's been big scale of things, still in a downward trend. Intermediate, what I think is going to happen is continue in a downtrend. I'm just waiting really on this now on the bigger time frame on the swings. The problem is I don't want to be going in and trading. It's just pulled back to the underside of its daily pivot. It could give us a reversal from this point, but it has put the higher low in going down up this way, so it's got sort of mixed intentions kicking through. So I need to wait for more of a breakdown here on the bigger time frame for a swing short. Looking back towards the S1, it didn't set up yesterday morning. I was looking at this, waiting for it to break down here. It never set up. Waited patiently for a long time, and that's the point of having sensible entry points. Anyway, didn't set up. News was about to come out. I closed off the trade. It didn't make any difference because it would have just taken. Well, wasn't in a trade to take out. But anyway, cancelled the trade there. US dollar stronger than expected for now. Anyway, wait. I'm waiting to see if we get the breakdown, and I think the best time frame would be looking at the 4 hourly here, looking for a continuation. Right. That's the yen, and I'm still bearish on the dollar yen. I think it's got quite a bit to go yet. Aussie dollar, well, the Aussie is holding up better than a lot of things here at the moment. The commodity currency is doing a little bit better. particularly against their peers. But this obviously is plugging away. It's quite choppy, and you'll see that on the lower time frames here. So although it's well, hasn't sold off the same as the others quite as much, and as you see, it's just sort of, it's plodding a lot of chop, a lot of sideward action. Most of yesterday, what time was that? At 10 o'clock, it just sort of ran into its R1, and that was it basically. A break through that R1 would have been a tip for a continuation, but it never happened, and we're sitting there now. Well, I expect this to run into a chop mode as we run through. Maybe it'll break out this morning, just tease a few traders in there, just take out those prior highs. But I get the feeling we could end up in chop again as we wait for the Fed meeting. Can't stress enough how important the Fed meeting is, and the potential of chop through the day leading into it. US dollar CAD on the daily basis, this really has just is really not going anywhere at the moment, is it? It's it's ranging. Yesterday that was it. It caught it in the morning, and then just, well, since then it's was that in the morning or in the afternoon? The afternoon it flicked up there towards the previous high there, but really choppy, ugly. I don't want to be trading that whilst it's looking like that. That was that. US dollar, New Zealand dollar. Well, again, yesterday it didn't hold on as well as the Aussie. It's slightly weaker. The Aussie's outperforming here, and it's still struggling on the on its trend line there to break its trend line. So at the moment, not looking particularly great. Tightening up. It is forming a bit of a wedge here, which is notoriously awkward to try and trade from. Okay, moving on to the Swissy, dollar Swissy. Well, I still think this is good. If it was left to just to technical devices, I think it's got more downside, but and it might well go that way. But it's probably just me concerned about potential intervention. So I don't trust the Swiss National Bank at times. We've got this head and shouldery pattern that was going through yesterday, never triggered. We haven't taken out, I guess, that second shoulder yet, but it's still got potential technically to the downside. Cross pairs I normally follow, like the Euro CAD. Well, we've run into that sort of key level up here. In fact, I was looking at it because what time that frame I was looking at that on. Can't see how I put that particular level on. I was looking for it. Is basically it's done a breakout, and I was waiting for the pullback on this. Actually, it's the pound CAD. It's the pound CAD. I was waiting for the breakout on and pullback, not this at all. This is looking softish at the moment with what it's doing here, running into these prior highs. Yes, the short-term trend's up there. We could just see this folding back over for now. It's not looking pretty at all. Okay. Yeah. So other things here we look at. We look at gold. Let's have a look at what's happening with gold. I should imagine it's again. Just putting a little pivot swing turn point there, chopping along right the way through here. Really ugly short term, but this again could yet take off. It's just a consolidation running through here. Oil. Oh yes, they continue doing that upside a little bit, but not much. Again, it wasn't for me yesterday at all. I kept out of oil. I'm only looking on the short side at the moment. I will of course change that pattern at some stage, and looking at the hourlies, it looks like perhaps I should be looking at some longs on this again, but I really, yeah, I'd need to see just a bit more confirmation. It has changed course a little bit there structurally. You see it on here. If I pull this in properly, I mean, we've got the high lows coming through here. We've broken the original trend line, so it has changed course. It's perhaps just the fundamentals don't sit too well behind oil at the moment for me, and I'm sticking out, waiting to see if we get another shove to the downside. This just to me is a bear flag at the moment. Alex, as I've already said on the US dollar yen, I expect more downside on that. On the higher time frames, it's all points to the downside for me. It's a bit mixed on the short term, but the bigger time frame I'm still looking downside wise. On the dollar yen, that is. Right, okay, looked at these equity markets, S&Ps. S&Ps, so we didn't quite make new all-time highs yesterday, did we? What was that high there? The high... We did. We pitched into new all-time highs there. As I said with the S&Ps a week or two ago, you can't give up on the thing. I expected more potential with interest rates maybe coming more frequently, but of course there is the economy to take into account. If it was a hard landing, the equity markets could be battered as well, and we could just see the money running back to bonds, in which case the dollar starts strengthening again. Anyway, for now, we're sitting in there with more potential. They're pricing in, looks like they're pricing in the 0.5% still, pretty much into the cuts later, and the equity markets are loving it. So nothing I want. It's the ugliest old move ever where it's sitting at the moment. In fact, often when we see this sort of consolidation away from the highs, it could easily foul here, but we'll see. Anyway, I wouldn't bet. Well, as I say, I just won't bet against it at the moment. It's too much an upward trend. I would only be looking for shorts when it's starting to be in a short market again. Right, I shall leave it there. Sorry, it's a bit of a longy one this morning. Actually, it's not at all. But anyway, I shall leave the markets there. There's nothing I particularly want to get into trading this morning. I'm just looking at my auto trader. Did a nice trade yesterday, but nothing setting up on that today. Nope, nothing. So I'll probably be sitting out until that Fed meeting happens. I wish you a great day, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Bye for now. Right.